This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
I'll be your love, I'll be your sunshine, I'll be your love, I'll be your sunshine, I'll be your love, I'll be your sunshine, I'll be your love, I'll be your love, I'll be your sunshine. You see the sea, I'll see the sunshine, I'll be your love, I'll be your sunshine, shine, shine.
Following program is rated MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, you so know it, and so do I. It does not matter who the host is. What has always mattered is who the listeners are. Yeah, I mean, really, it is. It really is. Anyways, today is Monday, July the 7th of 2025, day 188th of the year, and only 177 days left to go. We are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM, and then we are hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there.
Radio Big. Streaming 24/7 at radiobig.fm.
Oh, yes, hanging out 24/7 across the multiverse of things that we get to do. No doubt about that. Anyways, how have you been? It's been a hot minute. At least it seems that way since we last got to interact. That is for sure, as we are doing this and doing that and doing everything there, then, and everywhere. So hopefully everything is good inside of your neck of the woods as we are hanging out. So if you're kind of new to what we do, let's talk about it. Our show consists of safety in the news and safety, just realistically how we do our things. We talk a little bit about this, we talk a little bit about that, and then we do a little bit about everything. It's just kind of the way that it goes. So during the show, we'll talk about every major news story that's going on at the time. And then we'll go ahead and bring everything to you as our friends from Feature Story News come about and all of that fun stuff. So don't worry about any of that. Outside of that, I'll give you a version of a main story as we get towards the middle of this thing. And then if you want to interact with the show, simple process of doing so. All you have to do is go to callinradio.com. That's callinradio.com. That'll get everything moving and grooving for you. Simplest way for us to hang out and do the deed. No doubt there whatsoever. So with that being said, let's talk a little bit more about some of the things that are going on inside of the world of the multiverse. So it's going to go something like this. We're going to talk about newsworthy and noteworthy and all that kind of fun stuff, because why would we not do anything else? I mean, kind of a weird one not to mention it now. So let's go ahead and tell you about what the hell's what was trending.
Here is what was trending. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so as I take a look at the trends at the ends, notable and noteworthy, an anti-immigrant protest breaks out in Mexico. Yeah, I did say that. Also, lots of music news and showbiz. Also, Craig Robinson is leaving comedy for a new venture. Yeah, Craig Robinson. Yeah, so we'll talk about some details about that as we get into casting calls and a long-standing tradition ends for the monarchy. So we'll talk about that as we get into the royals. By the way, did I say that you go to callinradio.com? I don't even remember if I said that or not. If you go to callinradio.com, it'll give you some options here for audio, video, and text messaging where we get to interact together. What it does is it gives me a little prompter over here on the screen. I get to see what you said. We'll talk about some of it. I know sometimes people get pissed because I don't say it directly. Let's see. Tanya Smith texted over the following, something about some Dale Allen stuff. No, I don't say that stuff. Don't say it like that. I just kind of read it and we go through. So that's what happens. Okay, so with that being said, let's bring some info over, bringing in our peeps from Feature Story News. We'll get that started right now.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. A jury in Australia has found a woman guilty of cooking a death cap mushroom lunch that killed 3 relatives and left another seriously ill. Erin Patterson's defence had claimed she accidentally included the poisonous mushroom in the dish. The prosecution argued she put the death cap mushrooms in the meal on purpose and then lied to police. At least 78 people are now known to have died in flash floods that swept through central Texas on Friday. Dozens of others are still missing, including 10 girls who were attending a summer camp in Kerr County. Search and rescue efforts are now shifting to a recovery operation with more rain expected. US President Donald Trump has signed a major disaster declaration.
We'll continue to be there, and we're working very close with representatives from Texas, and it's a horrible thing that took place. Absolutely horrible.
President Trump has said that the BRICS nations will be charged an additional 10% tariff for allegedly carrying out anti-American policies. It comes as the bloc that includes Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa and 5 other nations has condemned tariffs at a summit in Rio de Janeiro. Member state India is already negotiating a trade deal with the US that now faces hurdles, as Ishan Gerg reports from New Delhi.
This would be on top of the 26% tariffs that US had already imposed on India, though now paused, could complicate trade negotiations. And it's important to understand that President Trump's statement comes just hours after BRICS nations in their joint statement said, without naming the US or President Trump, that tariffs pose a threat to global trade. They say that unilateral tariffs that are being imposed on countries, they are problematic for global trade, and that the World Trade Organization should stand up to it, while also calling for reforms at the WTO.
TikTok is reportedly building a new version of its app for users in the US ahead of a planned sale to a group of investors. US President Donald Trump says he will start talking to China this week about a possible TikTok deal. Laura Westbrook reports from Hong Kong.
Donald Trump said the United States pretty much has a deal on the sale of the TikTok short video app, but the United States will probably have to get a deal approved by China. According to the information, TikTok plans to launch a new version in American app stores by September 5th. The current version would be phased out entirely by March next year if the sale is completed. This move is seen as a step toward preserving TikTok's massive American user base while complying with mounting legal and political pressure. This new development comes amid renewed efforts by the Trump administration to enforce a law signed by former President Joe Biden and upheld by the Supreme Court that mandates ByteDance sell TikTok's US assets to non-Chinese owners.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. What to make of Elon Musk's decision to launch a new political party in the United States? He's calling it the America Party. Rather unusually, it's an initiative born out of an entirely unscientific poll that Mr. Musk launched on his social media platform. He says it's designed to appeal to disaffected Democrats and Republicans alike. Does it presage the end of the two-party system? Not according to John Scardino of Democrats Abroad. hard.
I don't think it's ultimately a threat to the two-party system, and it's largely down to the Electoral College. When it comes to the presidential elections, it's done on a state-by-state basis, and the winner gets all of the votes from that state, no matter how much they win by, no matter what. A third party, even when there was a party that got 20% of the overall vote, they still didn't get any Electoral College votes. That was with Ross Perot back in the 1990s. So I think that anything that Musk does is very likely only going to take away from the Republicans. Now,
he would say that, but in fact there are many disaffected Democrats out there as well. Whether Elon Musk, whose personal image is attached to all the early stage America Party imagery, is the man to win many votes from anywhere is a yet unanswered question. But Mr. Musk, of course, has the money to find out. I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories, a jury in Australia has found a woman guilty of cooking a death-cap mushroom lunch that killed 3 relatives. At least 78 people are now known to have died in flash floods in central Texas. President Donald Trump says BRICS nations will be charged an additional 10% tariff for allegedly carrying out anti-American policies, and TikTok's reportedly building a new version of its app for users in the US ahead of a planned sale. That's the latest feature story news. Ollie Barrett reporting.
Listen to our host
Of the Rated R Safety Show.
self-implode on our airwaves, only on Safety FM.
It's always amazing to me on how technology changes, and so does the environment that we're in. And cyber criminals will do everything they can to take advantage of a system. If you don't own a home, you have nothing to fear about what I'm about to tell you. But if you own a home like me and you don't guard it with home title lock, you're inviting home title fraud. One of the fastest growing crimes. Cyber thieves around the world know our home values are sky high at the moment, and that makes us a target. The crime is scary simple. Let me explain it to you real quick. A cyber thief simply forges your name on a property sale form and refiles it. That's it. Now he or she is on the deed of your home, and you have no idea that you're a victim. Then the person takes out a loan on your home and vanishes, leaving you to prove to the police that you didn't commit bank fraud. Home Title Locks puts a virtual barrier around your home title. The instant they detect any kind of tampering or anybody messing around, they help shut it down. Look, if you have equity in your home, you need to guard it the best way that you can. Some people might even go as far as guarding it with their life. Go to HometitleLock.com and register your address to see if you already are a victim. And enter the code RADIO. That's RADIO. That's the code RADIO for 30 days free of protection. That's code RADIO at HometitleLock.com.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete signal transmission trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion, the book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all 3 books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.
Hey there, Jay Allen here with Safety FM, where we just don't talk about safety, we live it. And when it comes to safeguarding your future, there's no better partner than Acorns. This
This part of the show has been brought to you by Acorns and a powerful tool that makes saving and investing easier than ever. We all know that investing can feel overwhelming, especially with busy lives and no time to dive into the nitty-gritty of financial markets, but Acorns changes the game. With Acorns, you don't need to be a financial expert or have a hefty sum of money to get started. In fact, Acorns lets you begin with just spare change. All about those small steps, small investments today that can build into something much bigger over time. Acorns recommends that the expert build portfolio designed to fit financial goals. Then it does the heavy lifting for you by automatically investing your money. It's like having a financial advisor in your pocket working around the clock to help your money grow. So why wait? Head over to acorns.com/safetyfm or download the Acorns app and take that first step towards securing your future today. Remember, in the world of safety and investing, small actions today can lead to mighty outcomes tomorrow. Paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides an incentive to positively promote Acorns. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC, and SEC registered investment advisors. View important disclosures at acorn.com/safetyfm. At Safety FM, we're all about making smart decisions on the job and in life. So take control of your financial future. This is Jay Allen reminding you to stay safe, stay smart, and invest in your tomorrow.
Safety in a way never heard of before. The Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Oh, yes, the Rated R Safety Show. 16 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out doing our thing, no doubt about that. So let's start talking right away about some of the stuff that's going on inside of the world of the multiverse, because that's what we do. Anyways, independent media site The Information published a report on Sunday that suggests that TikTok will roll out a new version of its app in the United States in September to comply with the law passed last year that requires it to separate itself from the Chinese Communist Party influence. The new app would also be under the ownership of a new investor group. President Trump has quite illegally extended the January 19, 2025 shutdown deadline of TikTok since taking office, but no one seems to care. The current illegal ban extension runs through September the 17th. Any significant changes in TikTok ownership structure and operations could require signing off the Chinese authorities. Trump in recent weeks has signaled that he expects the government to approve the new ownership. This is according to Deadline. So there you go. What do you think about all this? Is this important to you? Like, listen, I understand that a lot of people use TikTok and good for them, and all that kind of fun stuff. I don't understand the appeal, but then again, that's probably because I'm old, according to some people. That's okay. So I don't know. Something to think about. Something to give some thought process to, as always. So there you go. Okay, anyways, massive anti-migrant riots broke out over the Independence Day weekend. Demonstrators broke into storefronts and looted products while others took to the streets. Yeah. Chanting, "Gringo, stop stealing our homes." One participant in the chaos complained to the journalists on the ground, "People are coming from other countries, mostly foreigners who want to impose their culture and displace Mexicans." Another protest in the influx of white people driving up the cost of housing 47% is what was said there in regards to some of the stuff going on. So not 100% sure what was going on as we are talking. So there you go. Anyways, there's some stuff on X says like new rioters in Mexico City demand that the Americans stop immigrating to their country and stop stealing their homes. You can't make this up. Locals are fuming that Americans are imposing their culture and taking over. Some went to say that as far as that gringos should be killed, while others told them get out of Mexico. Since COVID, American digital nomads have been flocking to Mexico City. Mexico City is going through a transformation. There's a lot of foreigners, many, namely Americans, coming to live there. So there you go. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff that happened over the weekend there if you're taking a look-see around. So meanwhile, the official X account for the Department of Homeland Security shared a new article about the protests with the caption, "If you're in the United States illegally and wish to join the next protest in Mexico City, use the CBP Home app to facilitate your departure." I can't make this stuff up. Just legitimately what it says. So there you go. If you want to go take a look-er of some of the stuff, no doubt there whatsoever as we are talking. Anyways, a North Korean defector successfully navigated the demilitarized zone, yes, at its southern border late last week. The first in about a year. Yeah, the first in about a year. Duh. Okay, South Korean authorities say that the man is a civilian, not a soldier, who hid in the wooded areas during the day and traveled under cover of darkness overnight. When he was detected by South Korean troops, they guided him to safety. The defection comes as the number of North Koreans arriving to South Korea has dropped quite significantly since the pandemic. Previously, the South welcomed about 1,000 Northerners a year. To date, there's only been 38. This is according to the Wall Street Journal. So, some stuff to think about, no doubt about it. So, there you go. There you go. Anyways, years ago, Olympic organizers feared the sewage levels of the Seine River might be too high for swimmers in the aquatic events. Now, the cleanup efforts have been so effective. The river opened to the public for the first time. So, are you ready from this? Since 1923. The government of Paris has opened 3 beaches. This says 3 beach sites along the bank that allows about 1,000 swimmers a day to take a dip, and they'll also have to test the water daily and publish the results for swimmers to make their decision. This is according to The Guardian. Hold on, I have to make a decision if I want to swim somewhere opposed to not swimming somewhere. That makes it kind of interesting when you start thinking about that stuff. That's for sure.
It's this show, and they just make fun of a whole bunch of people. It's just too funny. It's too stupid.
Rated R Safety Show.
Hey, I'm not making this stuff up. I'm just telling you what's going on. Anyways, let's talk about this one. A 77-year-old retired teacher from California traded her home in a retirement community for an open seas. Sharon Lane brought the interior villa on board of the world's first perpetual cruise, the Villa V Odyssey, saying that it will cost her less money to live there than in the Golden State. Spending her entire life savings, Lane says that she plans to remain on board the ship for an entire 15-year journey. "I'm finally able to do what I've wanted for years," she told CNN. So think about that for a moment. She's saying to live there for the next 15 years will be cheaper than doing anything else, than staying in the Golden State. That's kind of crazy when you start really thinking about it for a moment there. Something to give some consideration to, no doubt. Okay. So let's talk about this, because this one kind of surprised me coming out of left field. Last week, let's say on July the 2nd, Julian McMahon passed away. He passed away on July the 2nd in a private battle with cancer. McMahon is best known for his roles in Charmed and Nip Tuck. He was only 56. So Dr. Christian Troy from Nip Tuck fame passed away. I was so surprised to hear that. I would almost say I was kind of in shock, if anything. Also, in some other news, Caitlyn Jenner's friend and manager Sophia Hutchins has died. She passed away in an ATV accident in Malibu on July the 2nd. Hutchins appears on several episodes of Jenner's show I Am Kate. She was only 29 at the time of her passing. In some other news, actress Maureen Hindert has died. She passed away in Hutchinson Hospital on June the 29th due to liver failure. Maureen is best known for her roles The King and I and Gun Forever. She was 88. Also, rapper Young Noble, real name Rufus Lee Cooper III, has died. He took his life on July the 4th. Cooper is a member of Tupac Shakur's rap group, The Outlaws. He was 47. Also, in some other information, baseball player Bobby Jenks has died. He passed away on Friday with a battle with cancer. Jenks was a former closer for the White Sox and a 2005 World Series champion. He was 44 at the time of his passing. A lot of stuff. I mean, I guess when you start dealing with the short week stuff, you just don't realize all the stuff that happens. But man, that was some crazy stuff last week. No doubt there. In some other news, Kelly Osbourne is engaged to Slipknot's Sid Wilson. He popped the question backstage ahead of Ozzy Osbourne's final show with Black Sabbath at the Villa Park in England on July the 5th. In an Instagram video documenting the proposal, Ozzy interrupted, joking, "Fuck off, you're not marrying my daughter." Kelly and Sid share a 2-year-old son, Sydney. Details of Ozzy's farewell, we'll talk about that a little bit later on for sure, and then we'll go from there. Also, Paul Simon canceled 2 shows last week due to severe back pain and underwent surgery to fix the problem. He's expected to be back on his feet, though. A show scheduled for tonight has only been postponed by 1 day, so that's one hell of a back surgery. So there you go. What else do we have? Let's talk about the box office because some people will care about that stuff. At number 10 for over the weekend, Ballerina, $725,000. At number 9, The Materialist with $1.3 million. At number 8, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, $3.2 million. At number 7, Lilo and Stitch, $3.8 million. At number 6, Megan 2.0, $3.8 million. At number 5, 28 Years Later, $4.6 million. Let's see. At number 4 was Elio with $5.7 million. At number 3 was How to Train Your Dragon, $11 million. At numero dos was F1 the movie. Yeah, F1 the movie with $26 million. And New, which apparently I was reading that this was supposed to be the worst in franchise history. They didn't expect it to make that much money. I don't know how much the other ones made, so I'll just make reference to it. But Jurassic World, The Rebirth, $91.5 million. That sounds like a good weekend to me. Is it this weekend coming up that like Fantastic Four and all that crap comes out, or is that later on? I think Superman comes out this week. I can't even keep up. So many movies as of late, it feels like. Anyways, let's get a little swampy. Swampy-umpy, that is. The president signed one big beautiful bill into law on Friday. Here's what the law gets right, according to this. So let's talk about this. Beginning in January of 2027, a year and a half from now, if you're able to work but choose not to, you can still get free insurance as long as you spend 80 hours a month volunteering or performing community service. One would think that socialists would be all on this. Their whole stick. Neighbors would help neighbors more than they didn't have the stresses of financial insecurities. This is according to the editor, of course. It's entirely disingenuous to say anyone would be kicked off the program, especially with 18 months notice. Just saying there. What else? Likewise, in the state mismanages federal funds in administrating SNAP programs, which ensures people don't go hungry. The state will have to contribute 5 to 15% of the cost of the program. The federal government currently picks up the whole bill no matter what. This is what Democrats are complaining about when they say that people will be kicked off of the benefits. If someone loses their SNAP benefits, it's the state's government's fault, not anyone in Congress. The law fully funds border wall construction and more than triples ICE's budget to ramp up the political population deportation initiatives. Also, the bill provides a $25,000 tax deduction for tips and up to $12,500 tax deduction on overtime wages for those earning less than $150,000. Business owners and employees will still owe payroll taxes on tipped income and overtime. And some things that are not so great. The creation of a new launch tax levied on private space companies based on the weight of the ship payload. The tax increases year every year beginning in 2026, giving the Treasury Department $15 million to deliver the Congress within within 90 days. A report on how it could implement a free, simple online tax filing system, not actually create the system, just write a report. So there you go. Also worth noting, from dollars to cents standpoint, Trump ideally would have the demand of the balanced budget from Congress, one with spending cuts deep enough to immediately reverse the ongoing accumulation of debt. This path would have meant some short-term pain across the board to give the Democrats an easy line to attack against Republicans. Instead, he chose to strategically pursue a growth agenda that will increase the revenue through significant economic expansion without calling entitlements, which represent the vast majority of the federal spending. To fix will not be immediate, and the tiresome to hear about complaining about the voices of the right used to say that Trump doesn't understand how Washington works, to now moan about Trump didn't go far enough. So there you go. This is according all to the editor. So just sharing the editor information right there of what was being said.
Who truly cares what this guy has to say? Who gives a shit? Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's talk about the Dow, because some people will care about that. The Dow gained about 344 points to close at 44,828 the last Thursday. The S&P increased by 51 points to close at 6,279. And West Texas Intermediate closed at $65 a barrel, and Brent crude was at $68 a barrel. The national average price of a gallon of gas was $3.14 on Sunday, and Bitcoin gained over the weekend just around 1%, trading around $109.5 thousand. Also, Tuesday night's Mega Million drawing will be for $70 million jackpot, or a $31.3 million cash payout. Tonight's Powerball drawing will be for a $203 million jackpot, or a $92.5 million cash payout. So if you want to play the game, you have the opportunity to do so. So there you go. Let's talk about some stuff that people care about for the 4th of July. Joey Chestnut returned to Nathan's famous international hot dog eating contest on July the 4th and walked away with another mustard belt. With 70.5 hot dog plus buns consumed in 10 minutes allowed time, he was easily the champion, as the next closest competitor only had 46. If Chet's 17th title in the annual eating contest, remember he was banned from participating in the competition last year after striking a deal with plant-based company Impossible Foods. For the record, Chestnut's all-time world record is 76 hot dogs in 10 minutes. This is according to CNN. So there you go. There you go. Take a listen to this. Kelly Clarkson postponed the opening to her Las Vegas residency just an hour before she was due to take the stage. She explained the decision on Instagram, telling the fans after the prep and the rehearsals a break was needed to avoid doing serious damage to her voice. Clarkson apologized to her fans and said that the plan was to kick things off coming weekends, and she has 18 shows scheduled at the Coliseum. We have been working 24/7 in the studio sessions, the most intimate and extraordinary experience with and my incredible fans. I am beyond grateful that they always show up, and I am devastated to have to postpone tonight's and tomorrow's opening at Caesars. The prep and the rehearsal have taken a toll on my voice. I want the show to be perfect, and y'all, I need to protect myself in doing serious damage, so I am taking the weekend and the next week to rest up. That can be that can deliver what you all deserve. The show is truly incredible. The musicians and singers are outstanding, and I want us to start with strong. I can't wait to be back next weekend and show you all what we've been working on. Can you imagine that? You're minutes away from starting something like that, and all of a sudden it's like, we're doing some other stuff instead. Yeah, I think some people are going to be pissed off. So let's talk about it, no doubt. Here we go, main story.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so some main story time, and yeah, I guess it's a little bit of a twist this weekend, or this week, better saying. So a couple of things before I forget. Number one, if you were kind of been hiding out and did not know this weekend was Ozzy Osbourne's last, yes, I did say last concert. He's no longer going to be doing any concert. Of course, he hasn't done anything in a few years due to some illness issues, about some accident that he had a while ago. And over the weekend, on July the 5th, in Birmingham, England. Back to the beginning. They had a pretty big tribute concert to Ozzy Osbourne, and then he came out towards the end, played 5 songs with Black Sabbath, played 5 songs for his solo career, so he was able to do 10 songs. Good stuff there. But it was kind of an ending of everything going on. And it was kind of amazing just to see the reactions of people in regards to what happening. And, you know, you're going to probably sit back for a moment and go, can you tell me some more on how this has anything to do with safety? And I get it. I get where this could be confusing, but I think it's important for us to talk about some of this stuff, opposed to it just being a convo. So with that being said, there were some nice tributes put online, but there was one that really stuck out to me that I was like, I should probably talk about this a little bit, if anything. So I wanted to share something that I saw online about people that have, or a person that was there. And it said something along these lines. So if you bear with me just one moment, we'll go through the whole thing. Last night I saw something that I thought would never end, is what the writer says. I saw Ozzy sitting like a tired king, but still in love, saying goodbye to his story. It also goes as far as saying, and there we were, all together saying goodbye with him. Back to the beginning wasn't just a concert. It was a journey into everything we were, that we were when we, hold on, let me say that again. Back to the beginning wasn't just a concert. It was a journey into everything we were when those notes changed us forever. Those guitars, those drums, that voice, they were rough caresses, electric hugs, a goodbye, yes, but said with the same sweetness which one would say, I will love you forever. It says when they played Paranoid, all the people had tears in their eyes. It wasn't just a song. It was a memory, a promise, a love that doesn't want to die. Ozzy said, I fucking love you, looking us in the eyes. And in that moment, I understood that rock can be very romantic. Because it teaches you to stay, even when everything changes. It teaches you true love, like a good riff, never ends. It turns to an echo. Then the person goes as far as saying, thank you, Sabbath, for making me love every note as you love a person, with loyalty, with anger, and with my soul. Back to the beginning. But the beginning, this time, is inside of us. And I thought about that. I was like, wow, that's very, very poetic on how it's written. It was very changing in regards to the mood of what was going on at the time. And listen, yeah, I know some people are going to sit back and go, well, how's this safety related? Well, it's okay. We can talk about other stuff from time to time. But I want you to think about that. The romanticizing of what this had to people, what the impact that this had on people, the way that it was able to change things for people. And keep in mind that Black Sabbath fired Ozzy Osbourne. And he went and did a solo career, according to stories and legends, of course. And he became even more popular. And I look at some of this stuff and I go, okay, listen, how passionate are you about what you do? If things did not work out for you, would people know about the passion that you have towards an implant, whatever you want there, X? Would they know about that? Could they really sit back for a moment and go, yeah, we know that you are passionate about X. And these are the things that we forget about sometimes. I know that some of us get to do the work that we do, and some people think about it that we just do it as work, not understanding how much passion we have towards. So with that being said for a moment, think about this. Will people in the long run say that this is the passion you have towards the work that you do? Realistically, if the answer is no, maybe it's time for a change.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You're listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
If you're anything like me, you have certain tendencies to put things off, such as filing taxes, seeing the doctor, working on that home improvement project that you're supposed to be doing, but you just haven't gotten to it. And while most of the times it works out, the one thing in life that you really cannot afford to wait on is setting up term coverage life insurance. You've probably seen life insurance commercials on TV and thought, yeah, I'll look into it later. Well, the answer is no. This isn't something that you can wait for. Choose life insurance through Ladder today. Ladder is 100% digitals, no doctors, no needles, no paperwork. When you apply for $3 million in coverage or less, just answer a few questions about your health in an application. Ladder's customers rate them 4.8 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot, and they've made Forbes' best life insurance in 2021's list. You just need a few minutes and a phone or a laptop to apply. Ladder's smart algorithm works in real time, so you'll find out if you're instantly approved. No hidden fees, cancel anytime, get full refund if you change your mind in the first 30 days. Ladder policies are issued by insurers with long proven histories of paying claims. They're rated A and A+ by AM Best. Finally, since life insurance costs more as you age, now is the time to cross it off your list. So go to ladder.com/safetyfm today to see if you're instantly approved. That's LADDER life.com/safetyfm. Ladderlife.com/safetyfm.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
I know you all want to hit your revenue targets and get the launch done. Well, making sure that your team knows what to do and how to do it is a huge part of it. So I'm sure that you all do different kinds of training, and I'm willing to bet that you probably use PowerPoint, Zoom, etc. I also bet that when you get someone droning on about a topic using these tools, you probably zone out
and your team does too. I mean, it is a reality of what happens. That's why I strongly recommend a tool called Articulate 360. That makes it so easy to whip together interactive, really beautiful e-learnings that really engages people and gets info across. You can create short-form micro-learning, super interactive courses, and really whatever you need when you're in their site. Then with a couple of clicks, you can send it out and check on it and see the progress of your team. Your team can also check back on the training anytime they want in a super simple portal. Literally everyone uses Articulate. Over 120,000 companies and all 100 Fortune 100 companies. Check it out at articulate.com/360 to start a free trial. That's articulate.com/360 to start your free trial. And don't forget to tell them that I was the one that sent you there.
If you ever wished that Facebook had a suck it button, you suck! This rock block is for you.
Oh, yes, I'll be your love. I'll definitely be your sunshine. Okay, you are still listening to the Rated R Safety Show as we are hanging out doing our thing. Yeah, I'll be your love. I'll be your sunshine. Anyways, 45 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are doing our thing. This right here is LUCØ with Sunshine. Songs readily available on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, and Pandora. Give it a little streamer-eamer action as we are doing our stuff. Yeah, you've probably seen some changes coming our way to our podcast stuff, but don't worry about it. You know that this is our number one of threats, so just in case. The other side is that if you don't get to listen to this thing live, it's available on a podcast format. Rated R Safety Show. Just a little action for you. Yeah, you know, it always kind of makes me want to break down and dance when we get to start playing some other musica around here. No doubt about that, as we are doing our thing. Anyways, let me tell you about the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime, and that is about my friends at To Write Love on Our Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help. And the people at To Write Love on Our Arm want you to know that people have been where you are now and that healing is possible. Things can get better. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com and click on the section that says Find Help. Once you get there, go all the way to the far right-hand side, click on Find Help, and you'll see information related to addiction, depression, anxiety, eating disorder, self-injury, and suicide, just to name a few. That's TWLOHA.com, To Write Love on Her Arms. So there you go. Okay, let's continue talking about some other things that are going on inside of the world of the multiverse. COVID has changed a lot about the way that we work. And for Gen Z, it's also interrupted their learning on how to work. Many entered into the workforce during the lockdown and remote classes. And as a result, they have missed out on internships, office culture, and face-to-face mentoring. Born between 1997 and 2012, according to the statistics of Canada, Gen Z workers are entering into their workforce during the period of generational change, and those gaps are becoming more visible. And now, with more and more companies calling people back to the office, experts say that Gen Z employees are lacking certain soft skills like communication, professionalism, etiquette. Etiquette expert Julia Blas-Camus says that it's about assigning fault. It's about gaps, from fewer family dinners to school dropping lessons on manners. Young professionals haven't had many chances to pick up those micro lessons. The good news, Gen Z wants to learn. They're eager for feedback and clarity. And when we approach etiquette as tools, not a rule book. Everyone benefits. Can't blame them. Zoom never taught anyone how to refill the office coffee. I mean, I guess that's one thing. And that just brings vibes is what I'm saying. Maybe not a voicemail skills, so who knows. So there you go. Anyway, some stuff for you as we are talking. Anyways, before I forget, let me tell you about Conklin Conference coming up. Conklin Conference for September the 9th through the 11th. Yeah, we're almost 2 months away from it taking place. So there you go. Conklin Conference for September the 9th through the 11th, Santa Fe, New Mexico. We're going to be talking about human and organizational performance. Would love to see you there. People that will be there: Todd Conklin, Martha Acosta, Bob Edwards, Jen T. Long, Andrea Baker, Mark Yesson, and I'll be there in a hosting capacity. Would love to see you there in regards to some of the stuff going on inside of the world of the multiverse, because that's just the way that it goes. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to safetyfm.com and click on the section that says live events, or if you're looking at the screen or if you scan that little barcode right there, that will take you to the website with more information. So there you go. I would love to see you there. Conklin Conference coming up September the 9th through the 11th in Santa Fe, New Mexico. So there you go. Anyways, let's bring some joy to our life. Let's bring some John Smalls in. Let him tell us about the Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com.
The Motivation Minute.
Today's quote was submitted by Chris. Byron Katie said, "It's not your job to like me, it's mine." What a great quote. You need to like yourself. You should even love yourself. There have been times in my life when I was upset with the decision I made. I knew better, but I did it anyway. Then I regretted the decision immediately. Have you ever been there? I have, way too many times to count. Thankfully, all these things were little in the grand scheme of things, but they were still life lessons and an opportunity to learn and grow. I'm better now, but still learning life lessons on a regular basis. I think we should all do that. Make decisions you'll like. Who cares what anyone else has to say?
The Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Hello, I'm Richard Exley with your 1-minute devotion. You can't be close friends with everyone. None of us can. We simply do not have the time or emotional energy. No matter how much we would like to be friends with everyone, it's simply not possible. So what can we do? We can strive to be emotionally present, to be real each time we encounter a person. The gift of our presence will affirm their personhood. Romans 12:15 says, "Rejoice with those who rejoice, mourn with those who mourn." Lord Jesus, forgive my all-or-nothing thinking. Teach me to give what I can, when I can, and to trust you to use others to make up the difference. Amen. If these devotions are a blessing and an encouragement to you, you can subscribe at oneminutedevotion.com.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
Devastating flash floods in central Texas have claimed at least 67 lives, including 21 children, with many still missing following the collapse of riverbanks over the July 4th weekend.
The Guadalupe River rose nearly 29 feet within hours, sweeping away cabins at Camp Mystic and other nearby areas. Search and rescue teams have rescued over 850 individuals, including campers clinging to trees, and federal aid has been deployed after a major disaster declaration. Officials are scrutinizing whether recent staffing cuts at the National Weather Service hindered early warning systems. Lawrence Keller reporting.
President Trump signed a new tax cut and spending bill into law Friday, prompting concern from former advisor Elon Musk over its impact on the federal budget.
Musk criticized the bill's projected increase in national debt and has announced plans to form a new political entity called the America Party. He stated on X that the new party will champion fiscal responsibility and curb government waste. Musk also plans to back select candidates in next year's midterm elections as part of this initiative. Kevin Sanders reporting.
A powerful storm in northern Italy struck near Milan, where a falling tree killed one person and knocked out power to thousands, local firefighters reported.
Authorities have closed several roads as crews work to clear debris and restore services. Meteorologists have traced the storm to a cold front, colliding with persistent hot air over the region. Italian officials are urging residents to avoid outdoor travel until all travel routes are deemed safe. Benjamin Wright reporting.
The social media platform X has suspended Reuters' official account in India following what it described as a legal demand, though the Indian government denies requesting it.
Users in India currently cannot access Reuters on X, but the platform says it's working with authorities to restore access. The government's Press Information Bureau stated it denies making any such request and is coordinating with X to resolve the issue. The suspension also affects the affiliated Reuters World account, impacting millions of subscribers in India. Jessica Oakley reporting.
The NFL's Dallas Cowboys have donated $500,000 to the Salvation Army to support flood relief in Texas Hill Country, with the Houston Texans matching that contribution.
The funds are aimed at helping with immediate rescue, relief, and long-term recovery efforts in the community. Both teams expressed deep sorrow over the loss of life and encouraged others to support those affected. Their donations coincide with intensified relief operations underway in the hardest-hit counties. Kyle Norris reporting.
A photojournalist video from Camp Mystic shows water engulfing cabins in minutes after the river's rapid rise, vividly capturing the sudden flood surge.
The footage, shared widely on social media, has amplified calls for improved early warning systems in flood-prone regions. Experts say this event underscores the dangers of training thunderstorms and rapid flood onset in semi-arid, hilly terrain. Emergency managers are working to strengthen forecasts and real-time alerts to prevent similar tragedies. Liam White reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
More hits to help you work. Because to get rich, you gotta work hard.
Yeah, dude, like I just made so much money that I could just sit around on my ass all day and play video games.
Wait, I forgot about Dogecoin.
Dogecoin rules!
Okay, I'll take your word for it. The Dogecoin rules, no doubt about that. Anyways, let's talk about some things that happened back on this date. Back in 2019, the U.S. women's team brings home its second consecutive record-breaking fourth overall World Cup win. Only Germany has won more than one title. The win sparked the nationwide debate over the gender pay gap. Lawsuits brought to light that the women's national team averaged less per game between 2015 and 2019 than their male counterparts, but it's worth noting that the women's team was more successful. That happened back on this date in 2019. If you're looking at some birthdays for today, Jamie Flatters turns 25, Dylan Sprayberry turns 27, Ashton Irwin 31, Jack Whitehall 37, Tam Sandoval turns 42, Sinister Gates turns 44. Troy Gady turns 52. Kristen Vagnus turns 53. Lisa Leslie, 53 as well. Christian Camongo, 54. Billy Campbell turns 66. And Ringo Starr turns 85 today. If you're looking at some days of the year that you would like to celebrate, well, it's World Chocolate Day. Yeah, World Chocolate Day and Global Forgiveness Day. Yep, Global Forgiveness Day. That's what's going on. So there you go. Anyways, if you need a rando ando, I have one of those for you. If you need a random joke, unlike the brain, the stomach alerts you when it's empty. Think about it. Okay, you know it's a good one. Also, if you need a phone starter for today, try this. If work or other commitments weren't a concern, where would you road trip today? Where would you road trip today? Come on, think of something good. Okay, if you need a question for the water cooler, try this. 57% of employees say that they are less likely to promote a worker who does this in the office. What is it? Swear. Are you trying to say because you do that in the field? I mean, I'm kind of confused on what that means. Okay, so that's it. That's going to sum up our time together. Thanks for hanging out with me on this lovely Monday. Okay, so let me explain to you what's going to be happening this week. You will get Memory Lane going on because I have to take a trippy-ippy. So just so you know, some stuff going on always. I will try to, communicate with some of the stuff. But if you want to come with me, I will be going over for hour 2 and 3. of the Jay Allen Morning Show over to Radio Big. Would love to see you over there. If you don't want to come over there and you want to hang out here on Safety FM, you can do that because you'll be hanging out with the likes of Sheldon Primus as he talks about the world of safety consulting. Anyways, thank you for always being the best part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and that is the listener, because without you, it makes no sense to do what we do around here. If I can't leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this. Losers quit when they fail. Winners fail until they succeed. Yep. Losers quit when they fail. Winners fail until they succeed. Yep. Think about that. It will take you places. Anyways, I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Safety FM and or Radio Big. The content discussed, including examples of analysis, is provided for illustrative purposes only. It should not be applied as the sole solution in real-world scenarios, as it is based on limited and dated open source information. Any assumptions made during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are not reflective of Safety FM and or Radio Big. No portion of this broadcast, podcast, or radio show may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of Safety FM and or Radio Big. For permission requests, please contact Safety FM or Radio Big directly.